All right, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here. Good to see you. So my name is Whitney Braid. I'm the Senior Events Coordinator here at the LA Film School. And it's my honor to bring up in a moment Alex Ferrofino. He's one of our esteemed alumni. I'm going to share a little bit of his amazing background with you guys, and then we're going to get into some questions. So born in Silmar, California, Alex Ferrofino was a talented visual artist from a young age. He loved movies, but the heavy gang culture and normalized violence in his neighborhood made it difficult for him to believe that storytelling could be a viable career. After witnessing the killing of a dear friend due to gang violence at the age of 16, he made the choice to distance himself from the darker and more dangerous parts of his upbringing and put all of his time and energy into honing his abilities as a filmmaker. He fell in love with storytelling through camera, and his enthusiasm and drive has enabled him to become a fiercely skilled and talented director. He feels he has an obligation to tell stories that speak to the rough communities of inner cities and crime-ridden communities. More than anything else, he hopes his stories will give voice to and inspire young men and women to make the difficult choices throughout life that lead to a more positive, loving, and fulfilling existence. His recent short film, Slipping into Darkness, has garnered a great deal of acclaim on the festival circuit and attracted top actors to collaborate, and he won HBO's first Latino Short Film Festival competition, granting him and his writing partner, David Manzanares, 2 years licensing deal and 2 years representation by HBO's marketing team. It's an amazing accomplishment. I'm going to bring up Alex. Yeah. Hello, hello. Good to see you.
Hi, guys. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you, everybody, for being here, and thank you to everybody watching online. So, Alex, share with us a little bit about your start in the industry. You're beginning with loving filmmaking from a young age. Sort of, how did it all begin?
Oh, man. It started just going to the movie theaters with my dad, my brothers, then just growing up in the entertainment world as far as, like, behind the scenes at the Universal lot, and just seeing a lot of the projects or the films that a lot of us admire at the backlot. That's what started it, watching all that, get to see some of the first Jurassic Park sets, going to the backlot. And that's really what kicked it off. And I've always been a visual artist, so I always like to draw and copy the comic books that I used to read. And even though I was doing the things that I was doing as a gangbanger, and I was like a gangbanger nerd, like out on the streets, but back home inside my room, I love the art. So drawing and all that stuff.
Yeah, awesome. So how did you find your way to LA Film School?
Oh man, so a funny story is that where I grew up, there was a school called Van Nuys High School, and it's very iconic to film and TV. So throughout the summer, they shoot a lot of commercials, TV series, a lot of productions go through there. So at the age of 18, I was a nosy kid, and I just always saw the white trucks lining up. And every single time a full truck production team lined up, I asked every single truck, like, hey, do you guys need help? Do you guys need help? Do you guys need help? And literally one time, this grip department gave me the shot, and I became a PA for them. So I started at 18, and then I did a couple years, and then I was like, you know what? I need to learn more, and I need to learn the language. So I was looking into film school, so I had a scholarship. So I was like, where could I fit in? And everybody's like, go to this school, and I just took the tour one day on a Saturday, and that's how that happened.
Yeah. So we were chatting a little earlier. You work with a lot of fellow graduates and alum from LA Film School. And the kind of funny part we've learned is you didn't necessarily meet them while you were in school, but met them coming back and continuing to network and be part of the school. Do you have any tips you want to give to our students we have here today about meeting people and meeting the right people that you want to work with in the industry?
Oh man, it's funny because when you're in school and you don't know half of the industry, you think, oh, I want to work with Steven Spielberg or Roger Deakins and all these big names. And I mean, these men and women have literally established themselves years, and they got a career going, and they got their team, they got their circle, they got all the people that you strive to have as a filmmaker. And it was in the school. One of the teachers told me, like, look to your left, look to your right. These are the people you're going to be working with. And I really took that to heart. And so ever since I graduated, I always came back to, to help teachers or to mixers or events or whatnot. And I met my crew, my partners throughout the years since I graduated. I met my partners, and that's how that happened. I just came back and I just gave back, talked to students, and also hire students. And yeah, we network, collab, and I work students that I met after I graduated. I work for them, So it was always like a back and forth scenario, and I always came back because I just gave gratitude to the place that I learned the knowledge that I learned, and really what I took out of this school was the people that I met. I worked with all the teachers throughout the school year that I was coming, because we were like the first bunch of the associate program. So we were like the guinea pigs for the associate program. So we didn't have no reds. We barely had DSLRs when I came to school, and we fought for reds. So after we graduated, they got the first red ones, and then it's history. That's why now you guys have all the cameras, but we were fighting for better quality cameras, better stuff.
You have them to thank.
So that was the mission, is to always like get the best tools to do what we need to do. But yeah, I literally just came back every time. Network. I talk to everybody.
Yeah.
I'm nosy. I'm a nosy kid, and I just ask questions. Like, never be afraid, or never put aside the ego that anybody has, because everybody has an ego.
Yeah.
The pride or whatever it is that holds you back for asking a question. Like, literally, that's how I've been functioning since I started until now. I always ask the dumb questions.
That's such a good tip, because you get what you ask for, right? You got to ask, yeah. So in particular, so you directed Slipping into Darkness, and your partner David wrote it. And you guys collaborate on most everything you're doing these days. So just wanted to share a little bit. We were hoping to have him join us today. He didn't make it out, but I know he wanted to say a message.
Yeah.
And
He apologized in behalf of Four Ways and himself. He apologized, but he'll be ready for another one if you guys need it.
we'd love to have him back, definitely. So do you feel like I'd love to talk a little more about Slipping into Darkness, just because it is having such an amazing moment. It's going to be on HBO in April, you guys, so everybody keep an eye out for that. So if you would tell us a little bit about the making of that project, how it sort of came to be, how long were you guys working on it, where did this idea start from, and kind of seeing it through?
So I met David I met him in 2012. So I graduated 2010. I met David 2012. We worked in the industry. A lot of our people we know were the same circle, so we all were working in the industry. So I think about 2016 is when we sat down and we decided, like, well, we're tired of working for other people or creating other people's projects. Not that there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just, it wasn't right for us. So it didn't feel right. We knew everything what they were doing, so we started a company, and then Oliver, another alumni, partnered up with us, and yeah, we started Four Ways. We started that, and then it was a tough time, because when we started the company, we were like, I'm in the union as a camera operator and as a first assistant, so literally it was hard to leave that, because you could get stuck making great money. Yeah. But we were like, all right, we're all hitting our 30s, and if we don't put our foot down, even though we have to start all over, we're not gonna do what the things that we want to do. So 2016, we were focusing on getting the business legitimately going, all paperwork, everything, all the legal stuff. And then I think it was 2018, really in the summer 2018, when me and David sat down and we were just like, so what are we gonna do as a team? I know we've been focusing on the business side of things, but what we're gonna do creatively. So it was just a weekend, and over the summer, we had a project. It was bigger than what it was, but like, we don't have the means, or we're starting all over, fresh company, so we have to utilize what we had. So we just started writing a short, and we wrote the short in summer 2018, and then we started pre-production like around October of 2018. Leading up to pre-production, we shot it in December of 2018, and then we wrapped it around March of 2019.
Any lessons from your time working on that project? I know you directed it, so any maybe directing experiences that you're really going to, take away from it that you want to share?
Oh man, it's just trust the people you work with. You have to have so much trust, patience, and believing in the project or believing in yourself. Like, there's as humans, we always doubt our steps or the stuff that we do sometimes, and it's fine, we're human. But when you have a team and you have a project that people are believing in it, like don't lose faith and don't lose track of that and just keep on pushing and you will get the product that you're seeking for. It might not be how you saw it, but it'll come out just as good. And I just, like I said, I'm a true believer. Like everybody's journey is different. Nobody's the same. Like, you have those people that like, oh, they come out of nowhere and they do this big project, and then you have Parasite, or you have these elaborate projects, and you feel like they come out of nowhere, but I feel like 50% of the time these guys been grinding and grinding and grinding, but just because they're not in the presence of social media or the big eyes or people pushing them, like you have to work hard. You have to work hard. You have to push hard. You cannot lose focus. Like that's one of the things that I'm thankful that I have. I have the discipline to not lose track, but it's literally like you have to get it's not a one-man team. Like you cannot do a film by yourself. You have to have a team. You have to have the support. As a director, you need that support. And unfortunately, I had the experience to work under the camera department as a second AC. So as a second AC, I learned how directors and cinematographers talk to each other and how directors talk to actors. Since, as a second AC, you're the one marking their positions and you're listening to the blocking, the rehearsals, all that stuff. So that's where a lot of my technical experience came from, and I'm grateful for that because I wouldn't have not directed what I've directed, because if I didn't came to school and learned that and then worked in the industry in the camera department, worked my way up, I sharpened all my tools for 2018 to go on set and really direct. But I worked my ass off, like constantly learning, work to get to that position.
That's actually such a great kind of point because you did do so much work before. And how, of course, we have students, they're going to, before you know it, be graduating, looking for their first jobs in the industry. What do you found was really the catalyst for your success in finding that work and going out there? I know you've had a lot of success within the reality TV space. Anything you want to impart to them about going out and looking for that first job?
I mean, like I said, everybody's journey is different. So I'm just explaining my journey, what I've gone through and what worked for me. But so in the camera department, you have the opportunities to work multiple productions, different types, from commercials to reality to what you call it now reality competition and features, TV series, and all that, documentaries, docuseries. There's so many job opportunities. So I always knew that I wanted to be a director, and I fell in love with it even more after the film school, just because I learned the technical side of things. But I worked and worked and worked. So I worked from The Voice, from I've worked on The Bachelor in the camera department. Like I've done from that type of reality show to commercials to TV, episodic, pilots. Like I've done it all. Like, and for me, I just took the job and opportunity because this is gonna push me forward to what I wanted to do, or make the money that I need to make these films, or meet certain people. Because the funny part about the TV industry or the film industry, once you're above the line, everybody knows each other. So even if you're working on an HBO Max reality show, which I did three of so far, and HBO hasn't dropped Max, the higher ups know everybody. So I go from there, then I do a commercial for an Audi commercial for a campaign for 3 weeks. And it's like, that's for the last 6 years in my career, I haven't used a resume. It's all been word of mouth. So, and I've worked in the position that I am now is just, I'm thankful and grateful, but I just, I just think it's depending, if you guys know what you guys need to do or what you want to do, like find that avenue or an alley that drives you forward to that whatever it is. Like for example, if you want to be a director or you want to be a director, there's multiple routes you could go. You could go either the AD route, the camera department route, or even the lighting route. And that's one way of doing it, and that's what a lot of people do. And people be successful throughout that journey, make money, and then eventually direct something. But also nowadays, you don't need to take that journey. You really don't. You just, now you have social media platforms. You have all that you could literally use yourself. You can manage yourself. You could do all that stuff. My advice is if you guys want to be directors and writers, or just content creators, producers, just do it. Literally just do it, bro. Brothers and sisters, just do it because you guys have the opportunity to do it, and it starts here. Like literally starts here. Like if you guys are not sleeping, or if you guys are not sleeping in school, like I was sleeping here. I was using everything I had to my best. Like I picked up a camera, shot something. It didn't work. I didn't like it. Thesis sucked. All right, keep on doing it. Keep on doing it, and you guys now have the power to create content now and call yourself a writer producer now, or writer director or cinematographer, whatever it is that you guys want to do it now. Because the minute you guys pump it out, you guys know, all right, what works, what doesn't work, do another one and another one. You guys have the time and the ability to do it. And that's where I'm at with it. I just work. Like I just know how to work and just don't take no for an answer. I'm just like, when these guys talk to me, like Alex is the eager one. Alex is the one that wants to seal the deal already. He doesn't sleep. I'm the father. I'm the youngest out of the group, but he's grandpa. He doesn't want to go out and have fun. He just work. I'm not comfortable, or I'm not content where I'm at with things. And not to say that I'm not grateful. I just want the best. I want more, and I want more. So I said just keep on pushing and just do.
I love that you shared a little bit about social media, because it is such an amazing time, because you can make your own stuff, you can put it out, and you can reach, there's no more middleman, right? You're able to do
No.
that. What have you found with that?
There's a lot of people getting deals left and right because of that. You know, everybody has this conception of old Hollywood. Old Hollywood, like you guys heard of pilot season, right? That's an old term, Hollywood term. Until you do not, until you don't, sorry guys. Once you start dealing above the line, you understand that pilot season is just for the networks. It's the regular cable TV. You guys need to think about pilot season being every month, because literally every month they're signing deals. With all these streaming platforms, Netflix, HBO Max is gonna launch soon, Disney Plus, all this stuff. Pilot season is just for networks, for the big cables. The big cable networks is just pilot season. Netflix has pilot season every month. Hulu has pilot season every month. So the conception of what Hollywood is different. Hollywood has a hard time keeping up with society and social media because of Facebook, YouTube, all these big platforms, and Google, all these big companies that run the internet, literally, Amazon Prime. Amazon started as a shipping company, but even them, they're pumping left and right. They just picked up a big franchise, the Lord of the Rings series, and they just dropped half $500 million just for 5 seasons. And then that's the thing, is like you have to work, because like even me thinking that I know a lot in the industry, once this short and the win for this short, and then now I'm talking to above the line people is the way I want to, but I had no idea. All this time I thought pilot season was a thing for everybody. No, pilot season, it's a thing of the past.
And for anybody who in here maybe isn't a film student, share with us what above the line means and how you might get in touch with those people if you're wanting to advance.
Oh man, above the line. Above the line is from representation from a manager or an agent, from the Big Six, from William Morrison, CAA, all those guys. Writers, directors, producers, actors. Those are the above the line. Above the line is from director, producers, writers, network execs, management agents, and all that stuff. Those are the people that, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunately that when I went to film school, and I think you guys are experienced that, and there's nothing wrong for the school. They have a curriculum, but literally, those things that we think we know or we don't, like literally how to talk to an agent or how to even approach an agent and all that stuff it's a whole conversation. It's multiple conversations of learning and learning, but I'm just getting to know that. And then I've been in the industry I started when I was 18. I'm 32, and I'm barely scratching the surface as a director. Like it's almost 11 years of me working my ass off, and I'm barely directing something or I'm getting recognition for my work. 10 years. Not to say that everybody's going to experience that, but that's just my experience, that I've been working for 10 years plus, building my craft, working on my craft, and I'm in the position I am now. But there's people that are one-hit wonders. And it's just literally, it's not that they don't have talent, they're great at what they do, but also the industry works like this. It's that you're there at the right time. It's timing. Timing is everybody's success. Some people have it. Some people have a luck. Some people meet the right person. There you have a show or a movie. Some people like me worked 10 years and I barely got something. So it just depends. Like people, when this drops, people are gonna see, whoa, you see these guys? You see this guy that grew up in LA and all this stuff? He's coming out of nowhere, Latino X, all this stuff. They're gonna see that I just came out of nowhere. But literally, I've been working for 10 years. And people don't realize that a lot of people work that hard, but because once you're out there to the media, and once you're out there in the bigger platform, they're, oh, this guy came out of nowhere. You saw this movie? Da 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 da. No, bro, I've been working for 10 years. I just finally got the right timing. It was just timing. Timing's everything. Timing is your key, but you have to take timing with the grade of patience. Patience is the key. Because you will get mad, you will get frustrated, you will be angry, you will doubt your career, you will be, fuck, should I go back home? Should I do this? Should I do that? All that comes. And you just need to be ready for that. But patience, hard work, and discipline. For me, that's what it is. But above the line is a whole conversation that people don't understand, or once you get to that position, you understand it and you start to learn. But it's funny because those things now could happen faster than how it used to be. And I always go back to social media or just in the internet world. You literally, look at Insecure. She did a web series. Insecure did a web series. And now has the deal with HBO, and now she's making movies, but she wanted to act. She didn't went to film school, and not to say that you guys are not wrong for being here. You guys are learning because you guys want to do something, but she did what I'm telling you to do. If you guys have a TV series or a project or something, just shoot it and put it out there. The festival circuit is the biggest thing you guys could do. Shoot a short or a TV show. Now you don't have to shoot a short. It could be a web series. It could be a TV series. It could be a pilot. You could even, festivals, you could even submit your script. You don't necessarily even need to shoot a short. It's just, you need to just start showing people what you could do. Like, that's just it. Yeah. And then the above the line comes looking for you. That's how that works now.
Then they come to you.
Yeah. And now you have more leverage because now you have content. Now you show what you're capable of. Now they're going to be like, well, if he did that with that type of budget or with that type of crew, so imagine what we could do if we give him $100,000 an episode or even $20,000 episode. If you do a web series and now they're doing this thing, and this is stuff that you get to know once you're above the line. Short format is gonna be a thing in the future. Like they're gonna start buying short films or buying short series, or web series are going to become series. They're not going to be called web series no more. They're going to be series because the attention span for people nowadays is shorter. So they're looking like Spotify is doing short content form. All these things that you think that oh, it's just for music and all this stuff. Like no, these people are trying to find a way to navigate through the big world as far as media, that anything you do could go anywhere now. Like there's no questions about that. It's just keep on doing it.
And it's a marathon, not a sprint, right?
Yeah,
And
it's a
you mentioned having those moments of doubt, those moments when you're like, okay, what am I doing all this for? Do you have anything that you found that's been useful in getting you through those times and keeping that persistence and that discipline? I know it sounds like hearing what your team says about you, that you're just a very driven person on your own, but anything that you found that's been helpful to kind of keep the focus when, things maybe aren't going exactly as you would have hoped?
I think coming to terms with not focus, like one thing that I was doing in the beginning and focusing on other people's success and other people's career, or like even my peers, like how he got that deal or what he did to do that, and why I'm not getting that. Like I started not doing that.
Yeah.
I started not focusing. I started not focusing on the negativity that I spew as a human, and I just literally focus on myself. Like I literally, instead of being mad that my buddy's getting a deal for whatever reason, I was more like, well, that's cool, great, awesome for him. I need to figure out how I could get my own deal.
Yeah.
And literally just, I think just really focusing and discipline and like I told myself this, and this is a weird thing that I told myself. I said, I've never walked. I'm born and raised from LA. Like I've lived here my whole entire life. I have never walked inside the Adobe Theater, which used to be the Kodak Theater before Kodak went bankrupt. I told myself, I'm not gonna walk into that building, and maybe I'll never reach that goal. I'll probably be a successful director, but maybe I'll never reach that goal of getting nominated. But I give myself these goals or these things that are so far-fetched to a lot of people, or people tell you, oh, you can't do it. But I had opportunities left and right since I started the business to work the red carpet for the Oscars or for these. And I told them, I'm not gonna walk into that theater until I get nominated.
Yeah.
And to this day, so I put my bars high for myself, and I think that's worked for me. For me, like I just put the bars high. Whether I reach those goals or I accomplish those goals, that's another question. That's another topic. Yeah. But I just like, you know what? These are my goals, and the only way to get to those goals is if I do this or if I do that. And if I messed up and it didn't went the way I thought it will, I'll just learn from that and keep on going. Like I not giving up is really not.
I think you'll make it there. I believe it. Speaking of, being born and raised here in LA, you're very big on giving back to the community. Like you've been so generous with your time coming here today, giving back to the students. Where does that come from, you think?
Man, just coming from the background that I come from, like, born and raised in LA and seeing all the stuff that I've seen and gone through the stuff that I've gone through. I just like giving back because in the end, they were all humans. I wanted to. So one thing that drives me is coming from a rough background and then doing a film like this, and then when you're above the line, people say, "You did this," and I'm all like, "As opposed to who? What's the difference?" So because I'm brown or tatted, because I look a certain way, I shouldn't be doing these type of things. So it's funny now. I embrace it, and I take it as a compliment. But most of the time, when I'm walking down the street or meeting with people, they don't realize the talent that I have or the experience that I have, or they'll never think that, oh, he's a film director. So like I get those terms. Me and David, we're two little kids that come from backgrounds that not that many people survive or get out of. So it's funny when we're dealing with above the line now. It's like they just hit us with, oh, so you guys did that? As opposed to what? Like as opposed to, Well, we're not filmmakers. Yeah, we're filmmakers. We could do it too. So a lot of it is just where the drive to help and just give back is just, our goal is to, like, if a kid like me, looks like me, breathes like me, is in the same position as me, and he could see me and say, if they could do it, oh, we could do it too. And that's the goal, is if somebody from the neighborhood could see a brown kid making it, it's another life that we could save. So that's the goal, is to always get back to the community, because I'll never forget where I come from. It made me who I am now.
Yeah, that's really powerful because it's, seeing it, right? Being able to see what you can be, and then there's other opportunities out there, other things you can do. And I'm sure it's a big part of why you've been so successful is because you have that generous spirit, and we're so appreciative of you being here.
Oh, man.
I think we'll open it up to some questions from the audience if anybody has anything they'd like to ask Alex. Yeah,
Yeah,
we can hear you, yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna give you an industry answer, and then I'm gonna give you a creative answer. Industry, no more than 5 to 6 minutes. That's what people are looking for, right? I will give you the answer. It could be no more than 10 to 15 or 5 to 15. And as long as you drive the story, as long as the story needs it. So, for example, page count, that's an old Hollywood term. A page a minute, no. An eighth could be a week worth of work on the page. So take the conception of a page a minute. No, don't do that. I would say keep it under 65, but if the story needs it or the episode needs it, you could go 8 minutes. It just depends. I creatively say do it enough until you get your point across for the episode, but keep it short so you won't lose your audience, to get that momentum and build that audience up, if that makes sense.
Any other questions?
Is there anything you can actually tell us a little bit about the short film?
Oh, yeah.
Would you mind just repeating it for the live stream audience? So they
Yeah,
can hear?
so the question is there more about the short film that you guys don't know? So yeah, so the short film is about general incarceration. It's about a young man struggling not to follow on his dad's footsteps. So it's like a full circle. So he doesn't want to become his dad, but ends up being his dad, and through society and where his upbringing and the stuff that the choices, the choice of the choice he makes is the consequences he has to deal with. So we're shining the light on general incarceration. And it's a topic that's been going on for years, but nobody wants to talk about it right now. And everybody's all into the DACA, Dreamer, deportation, or all these social things that are trending right now. That's what they're focusing on. So we're like, you know what? Let's just shine something that's very important. So it's literally Slipping Into Darkness is about a kid struggling, and not to become his dad. He becomes just like his dad.
And what day can they watch it on HBO?
April. We don't have a date yet.
Okay.
But April. Hopefully soon in the next week we get the date.
Well, the school will definitely be promoting it. We'll be super excited. And where can they find you if they wanted to follow your company or what you're up to?
So I go under Alex Ferrufino on Instagram, and the film is Slipping Into Darkness Film on Instagram, and our production company is 4Ways, the number 4 Entertainment on Instagram.
Another question? Yeah, we got time.
Just to become a corporation. It's just that process, and it took a year. The paperwork wasn't that long, but it's just get the business running, get it going. Start telling people you have a business. All the stuff that a lot of creators don't want to do, but that's the stuff that makes you legit, makes you a business, makes you going. And then when you put it on paper and you spend the money that you have to spend, it's it puts a bigger responsibility. So like I said, when she asked about what drives you, like I put these goals. So I made a company legit because now I have a responsibility, and now I have partners that rely on me like a marriage. So it just pushes me even harder to do what I need to do. So it took us like a year and a half, and we're still working on it. We're a fresh company. We started in 2016, so it's still fresh, and hopefully with the HBO stuff, it just pushes and elevates the company even more. But it's just that the paperwork wasn't the hard part. It wasn't the long part, but it's just getting the company going, establish yourself in the industry because in you're in LA. We guys are in LA, and obviously we're small fishes in a big sea, you know. But there's a lot of production companies everywhere now. Like there's a lot of work in Atlanta. There's a lot of work in Louisiana. There's a lot of work in Toronto. There's a lot of work in Vancouver. There's a lot of work everywhere else. All the big movies that you guys like and will go to the theaters to see, they're all coming from Atlanta or England. None of them are really getting shot here. Out here is only like TV series, sitcoms, commercials, reality shows, lots of reality shows. So that's why I've been doing a lot of reality shows the last 3, 4 years, is because, like, can I go to Atlanta and work on big budget movies? I could do that, but it's not me. I'm focusing on directing, so I'd rather stay in LA because I'm from LA and focus on my career and do these day play jobs where I do 3, 4 days, and then I could do whatever I need to do. But that being said, like we focus on a lot on the business side of things, so we're ready for anything. So for example, when the HBO came around, there was a lot of things that we didn't know. Legal wise, we didn't, but we were ready for it because all our business was legit. So we copyright the film under our business. We did all the BMI stuff. So even though I'm in the film industry, all the BMI stuff for our scores, you believe it or not, the one thing that will help a project up, let's say she's HBO, I'm Netflix. You guys have projects, right? I like your short. Oh, we want to give you a license deal. Just your short, how it is, for 12 months on Netflix. And let's say you use a famous Snoop Dogg song for one of your scenes, right? I didn't know this because I'm not music savvy, or I don't know the music side of things. I've dealt with it a lot, but not to the extent that we deal with HBO. So literally what happened was we had to replace all our music for the film, because when it comes to music rights and licensing, you have to get Snoop Dogg, which he's part of the writer for his song, the producers, they're part of the song, they all have to say, yes, you could use it, before you even talk about a deal of licensing it. So that's one thing that we had to do, but because we had a company, we had to start our BMI stuff. We did all that stuff. So when the composer did his cue sheet, he gave us the cue sheet under 4 ways. When we got original music from different artists around the state, we got their agreements, everything through the company, everything's legit. We got their paperwork. The producer and the writer said, yes, cool, here's the deal, boom. So that's the stuff of, as far as the business side of things, is just learning what we need to do for an opportunity like that. So for example, you do your short, I would recommend, when it comes to the music side of things, get a composer or a buddy that knows how to put a beat together or a track that could create an emotion. And then there you go. You don't have to deal with a label or a publishing company and all this stuff, because you're going directly to the artist, and it's a better, easy deal. But that deal for you will be is that you don't have the headache when you're trying to get your movie up to whatever platform, because it's original content that you have the rights to. So that's one thing that when you guys do projects, stay away from the big music, even though it's oh, that scene is gonna be dope with this song. No, because it will hurt you in the long run. If you do a short film or a web series, stick with original music, or even with your score. Don't use a score that you like. Get a composer. There's so many people in this school that are composers and could create a beat. I know that for experience. So those are the stuff that what took us a year to learn, is like everything we need legitimately on paper as a company, copywritten, all that stuff. That's what took a year.
So last question for you, Alex. What's next?
Oh man, shoot, I can't
That
say
you can
much.
share.
Literally, we have a couple. Well, I landed a manager finally.
Awesome.
I'm representation by New Ways Entertainment with this guy named Matt that used to be agent for 20 years.
Okay.
So that's cool. And
Very
then
nice.
he's getting us into network rooms and pitching rooms to all these execs, and that's cool. So we have a couple meetings this week. Other than that, we are writing, literally writing. I mean, there's a HBO talk about certain things, but I don't bank on stuff until I
Sure.
see it. Until like even my film, it's there. They have it. They haven't given us a date, but until I see it up there, it's true. Until then, anything could happen. There's still a month and a half. I don't bank on that stuff. But no. So literally, we've been writing because one of my good mentors, and he's big in the industry, he told me, you know what? Don't do the mistake I did when I started. He said, be ready for anything. Because they might not be ready for this film, but they'll ask you what else you have. And you'll be like, oh, well, that's all I have. There you go. That's the one shot that you just blew. So you have to have material. If you're a content creator, you have to have ideas. The rule of thumb is any idea that comes to your head, write it down. Doesn't have to be a script. It could be a treatment. It could be a log line. It could be a sentence. It could be dialogue, a scene. Write it down. Because you get into these meetings and be like, well, Slip Into Darkness was cool. It's not what Lionscape is looking for. It's not our forte. Do you have something else? You do not want to be in that position. Trust me, you do not. Those opportunities do not come often.
All right, amazing. Thank you so much, you guys. Another round for Alex Ferrafino. Thank you.
Thank you.